Well, one area that is not addressed is how do we know if we're saturating someone with too much communications from too many disparate sources? Well, with the cloud and with the ability to understand who has communicated with who and for what purpose, to be able to do data analysis across all the communication paths that a business has to its consumers and its customers, I think that's a really neat way of thinking about cloud computing and thinking about what trust cloud computing can establish, beyond just trusting in the actual message, but trusting in the total communication between businesses and their customers. I actually think that the distinction between communicating and spamming is a very fine line. And I think it comes down to simple stuff like a department within a big company communicating in one area, let's say services, an department in another area, let's say sales, and then a third department, which also might be sales but for a different product. Then they're all communicating at the same time to the same customer, things that are unrelated to each other and appears uncoordinated. Then the customer often starts saying, hey, I'm being abused. The ability to look at the cloud and say, here's how our communication patterns has been against our client, against our customer, and say, we're not coordinating well, and we can detect that easily and quickly through cloud computing technologies. I think that offers an enormous value, a benefit that will increase the business benefit and the coordination between units in a company. I think that is important to everyone. The challenge is to understand business relationships at a glance. Companies have many ways to interacting between each other and to their customers and to their suppliers. At a glance, to understand those interactions broadly and across different business processes that are unrelated to each other, I think is particularly important and a really new and emerging use of cloud computing technologies. Communications and knowledge about how different processes in a corporation communicates with end users as well as suppliers matters greatly. The ability to understand when, what, where, and in what context these communications take place, I think creates a goldmine for how to derive deeper value, both within the company and to create bigger value to the end user. I actually believe that this is a beginning of a new era of how do we more deeply integrate ourselves with our clients and our customers.